In this episode, we head to Maui to drive UTVs on this beautiful Hawaiian island. It's a tour that almost everyone can do while on vacation. Then Ken Faught heads to MotoVentures in Southern California for a dirt bike school for beginners. We wrap things up with a trip to the famous Sand Hollow State Park in Utah to go rock crawling with Matt Jory and his championship-winning friends. It's all coming up next on Off-Road Travel TV.
Presented by Beta, the official motorcycle of Off-Road Travel TV.
Even when our crew flies to a vacation destination, we look for adventure. After all, just because we don't have our own vehicles with us, doesn't mean we can't have fun. Our Ken Faught recently met up with one of his friends in Hawaii to do some fun exploring. Eric Duff manages one of the most popular resorts in this vacation paradise and joined Ken to drive side-by-sides with Maui Off-Road Adventures. This tour lasts about 2 hours and takes guests on tours all over Lahaina on private property. This area has lots of incredible history, and it's tours like this that offer a great introduction to off-roading for those who have never experienced it before.
Most of what we focus on is extreme off-road, but we do encourage people to do things like half-day tours when on vacation. It's an absolutely incredible way to get introduced to the world of off-road.
Out here at Maui Off-Road Adventures, I would say about 65% of our guests are new to off-roading. We have a lot of beginners out here. It's not to say we don't see some advanced riders, but this is a new experience for quite a few of our folks. Guests can expect a couple different things on these tours. We have a bunch of mixed terrain, anything from tight trails and trees to open fields. We also do a tree planting at one of our stops, and we also have tons of beautiful views out here.
The whole orientation process, once you show up here, 15 minutes, you are on the road, and literally 2 minutes away, you're already off-roading. So it's incredibly easy and very easy. I'd recommend it to anyone.
So this property is really special. It's owned by Maui Land and Pineapple. We have a great partnership with them in the Pu'ukekui Watershed Preserve. We've gained access through this property with our tree planting efforts. It's a multifaceted thing. The biggest thing is we're trying to gain waterfall back onto this property. So over 100 years ago, the mountainside was covered with rainforest, and Maui Land and Pine came in, cut the rainforest down, and started planting pineapples. Unfortunately, when you chop that rainforest down, it really affects the microclimate, and we lost about 100 inches of rain a year when that happened. So now we're tasked to bring the trees back to the property and hopefully bring that rainfall back.
Ken and Eric first went on a regular tour with other guests. Then they spent another 4 hours driving around the hillside to check out all the incredible views. The gradual slope of the area is ideal for this type of activity. Eric is an avid off-roader and mostly goes wheeling in his Toyota Tacoma, but he had never driven on this piece of property, nor had he driven a UTV.
You know, you just put it in gear and go and press the gas and go. It's that simple. And quite honestly, anyone could drive one of these things. It's incredibly easy. The staff here at Maui Off-Road Adventure is very helpful with regard to instruction. And yeah, it's easy. Get in the seat, buckle up, and go. I was very surprised at the variety of terrain that you all have here at Maui Off-Road Adventure. You go down into canyons, you get up onto hills and peaks, and you have these great camera points so that you can get these great pictures. Also, just the variety of terrain that you see and the fauna that you see, the flora and fauna you see is incredible.
Our team loves chasing adventure and seeing new sights for the first time. On most of this property, you get ocean views and can also see a lot of the major resorts. What's cool is that you can literally be sitting poolside or be on the beach and be driving UTVs in 30 minutes. The headquarters is literally that close to the center of town. They have been in business for a long time and know how to speed up the check-in process and make the entire experience enjoyable. That gives you more time on the trails to check out the incredible views.
I've ridden dirt bikes, ATVs, and side-by-sides all over Hawaii, and I think this is one of the best ways to see the islands. Side-by-sides offer an incredible way to get in off-road because they're so easy to operate.
One of my favorite parts of the adventure was really what we called, when you're hiking, is what you call bushwhacking, going on these trails that are less traveled. So really, really fun to do, and some very tricky spots that you get into, but it's really, really fun.
I'd say there's two things that surprise our guests most. One is going to be our tree planting. It really brings people down to earth, slows everything down, lets them see how special it is to be here on the island. And then second, I would say the durability and the capability of these Can-Am machines.
I've been here 10 years on Maui, and what an incredible experience the UTV Adventure was with Maui Off-Road Adventure. You know, when people come to Maui, they think the beach, they think the resorts, they think the pools are really all that draws people to this island. But I gotta tell you, this adventure was one of my favorite things to do here, so absolutely awesome.
One of the most common things I get asked is what's the message that we want to send out? And I think that is that we want people to come back to Maui and create memories. We did have a devastating fire over a year ago, and I know there's been a lot of misinformation on whether or not we're ready for tourism back. And I'm here to tell you we are ready and ready to rock and roll. We're open and we're here for you.
We want to encourage people to get out and experience off-road no matter what level. If you're a beginner, intermediate, or expert, get out there and give it a try.
One of our favorite addictions is the use of helmet communication systems. Two-way radios are absolutely incredible and take motorcycle riding to an entirely different level. These are two of our favorite systems, and as you can see, they are totally different. The first is a system developed by PCI Radios. This combines a 5-watt Kenwood NX1200HH handheld radio with a helmet speaker and microphone kit. It includes the wiring kit, harness, radio adapter cable, handlebar-mounted push-to-talk button, and everything you need. It features noise-canceling microphones and mil-spec connections. Cost is around $600, and the kit offers 128 channels. The true secret sauce about buying a radio kit by PCI is that the radio comes pre-programmed with frequencies that you will encounter at race venues and riding areas alike. Also, PCI will issue its users a licensing agreement to piggyback on their own license to use these radio frequencies on their radios without any extra government license. It's just a simple form on their website. The robust nature of a programmed quality radio with quality cables, connectors, and headset might not have all the bells and whistles, but PCI makes a package that streamlines dependable communication. The second is the all-new Senna 60S. These attach to the side of the helmet, which means there are no cords. These feature a Bluetooth intercom, second generation Harman Kardon 40mm speakers, and are Wave Intercom app compatible. They have an impressive 22 hours of talk time and have impressive quality. These cost about $400 through places like Revzilla.com. The 60S comes with 2 helmet clamps, giving you more flexibility to choose how you want to mount the unit. Additionally, since the Senna uses Bluetooth for its mesh intercom, you can also use it to make and take calls and listen to your music.
There's never been more choices for cool products to enhance your off-road experience. Today we're going to point out 3 of our favorites in the drone world. Our crew has been flying drones for several years and have bought over 2 dozen, including some that cost nearly 20 grand. The drones we like come in 2 different categories: standard camera drone and the first-person view, more commonly known as the FPV. On the standard version, the operator can control the camera direction independent of the direction the drone is moving, whereas FPV drones only film in the direction the drone is flying. We have 3 favorite drones that we recommend for the normal adventure, and they all serve different functions. The first is DJI's Mini Pro 4. This is a compact drone that can be carried in a backpack. It's incredibly potent and can shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second. It only weighs 249 grams, which gives it an exemption for certain legal requirements. Drone laws change all the time, so you need to do your own research and be aware of the laws before you fly. We also like the DJI Mavic 3 Pro, which is a mid-sized drone that has faster speeds, nearly 50 miles an hour, and has longer flight time of 43 minutes. If we could only buy one drone, this is what we would choose, but it costs more than double at $2,200. The most unique drone we recommend is DJI's Avata 2. This is the only first-person view drone we own, and use it for getting down close to objects, flying through tight spaces, and more precise flight paths. It gives you an incredible perspective, and it's like playing a video game thanks to the RC3 motion controller and the DJI goggles. Retail price is around $1,200, and it's the most fun of the 3 to fly. All three of these drones are great for making memories and upping your social media game. We'll see you all on the trails.
Wyatt Faught has raced competitive mountain bikes for over 5 years, but is relatively new to dirt bike motorcycle riding. Wyatt recently headed to Southern California to MotoVentures to learn from his professional instructor, Andre LaPlante, at his incredible 400-acre trading center. It is here where Wyatt hopes to learn more about throttle and clutch control, braking, and as much as possible during the one-day course.
When Wyatt wanted to learn how to ride, we had a lot of choices living in Southern California. But I've known the LaPlante family for about 40 years, and I wanted to make sure that Wyatt trained with somebody that really understood new students. And since their business focuses on teaching newer riders and getting more riders in the sport, I thought they'd be ideally situated for this type of activity.
MotoVentures has been around since 1999. We started off as a tour company and found a need for training. That's when we got into the training business. Students should expect to learn anything from basic fundamentals, intermediate riding techniques, on up to advanced maneuvers, wheelies, jumps, slides, motocross, enduro, all that stuff.
The LaPlante family's background is in trials, so no doubt it gives them the ability to be able to help people learn how to ride, because trials is all about balance, throttle, clutch control at extreme slow speeds.
For me, with my two-wheel mountain bike experience, learning to ride a dirt bike is certainly challenging. Having a throttle is a blessing and a curse. Having to manage my gears is a lot more complicated now. I have to deal with a clutch. It's just a lot more to think about than just 2 brakes and some pedals.
A typical day at MotoVentures, we start off with a rider's meeting, basically a little safety talk and talk about some fundamentals of how motorcycles turn, how motorcycles stop, how to ride standing up, some basic fundamentals, and then we go through some exercises. We start off with basics, sit-down turns, work on body positioning, clutch control, throttle control. We get into a braking exercise, which is one of our most valuable exercises, is how to use the brakes properly, how to ride standing up, hill exercises, up hills, down hills, side hills, turn on hills. We got a slalom, a beam ride, and the sand wash. The sand is a very popular attraction for us here. The first exercise we get into at MotoVentures, whether it's a beginner class or even an intermediate class, it was simple basic turns. We work on body positioning, again, clutch control, throttle control, and really how to make nice tight turns using counterbalancing, and that's the most important thing, really. Second exercise, we do a braking exercise. The braking exercise is one of the most valuable exercises we have. As a street bike rider, being good on the brakes can save you from a car accident, if a car pulls out in front of you. As a dirt bike rider, if you have really good braking skills, you will fear no downhill. When we're doing our braking exercise, it's very important to start off with the basics. We actually do the rear brake first, teach the students to skid the rear tire, feel what it's like to brake traction, and then we start to incorporate the front brake little by little, eventually working up to the point where they can actually lock up the front brake in the last 18 to 20 inches or so and work on the threshold of lockup. I'd say the most difficult thing to teach new riders is proper body positioning. People have a hard time, getting it right away, but it takes time. I say trust the process. You got to put in the time, put in the hours. Eventually you'll build the muscle memory and you'll know what to do instinctively. So when we ride standing up, the energy conserving position, you're pretty much straight up and down, leaning forward a little bit. We call it leaning into the wind, but you're carrying all the weight with your legs. Then when it comes to do a maneuver, like a jump or a bump, and you got to do a maneuver, you got to get into the attack position. You bend your knees, you bend your elbows, and you stick your butt out a little bit. You're coiled. That's called the attack position. But of course, you can't ride all day in the attack position. So you want to ride energy conserving as much as possible and go in the attack position as needed. Everybody starts off with unconscious incompetence, where they don't know how bad they are. Then we work up to conscious incompetence, when you know how bad you are. Then comes conscious competence, when you know what to do. The ultimate is unconscious competence, when you don't need to think about it and you can just go out there and do it by muscle memory. Wyatt did awesome. Started off with very little experience, that whole unconscious incompetence. He didn't know what to do, what not to do, but as we progressed through the curriculum, he did awesome. Stand-up riding, he actually ended up getting the balance beam at one point, and the sand. He was super excited about the sand. He was very afraid at first, but after a couple successful runs through the sand wash, he was super happy. The biggest takeaway that I like to see our students get is at the end of the day, when people are so excited, they want to go buy motorcycles and riding gear. And that's really important for our sport, because if we don't have new people coming into this sport, we're gonna lose it, okay? So by giving people a great experience and knowledge, makes them want to make it their own and go buy a bike and practice, practice, practice.
We traveled to Sand Hollow State Park in Hurricane, Utah to see some of the most extreme vehicles on the planet, learn about Matt Jory and his incredible championship-winning friends.
So Sand Hollow is one of the most iconic and best places for rock crawling in North America, really. It's traveled to by people from all over North America, and it's a state park, 66,000 acres, and it's all open OHV, so really, you know, whatever we see, we can drive on, and that's what makes this place really unique. Another thing is the traction. So it's all sandstone, and it's just really, really grippy. And then these, you know, 42-inch tall sticky tires just really hook up. So it allows you to put your car up some really steep things and, you know, crazy side hills, things like that.
It's so technical. It's a chess match with a vehicle on rocks. Knowing what tool to use at the right time to make your car go where you need it to go.
So what motivates me about rock crawling is the mental challenge, to be honest. When you're driving one of these cars in a technical obstacle or on a technical obstacle, it's just absolutely full focus on what you're doing, the balance of the car, how the car's reacting, and how you're going to use the tools inside it to keep it online and get through the obstacle. So you don't think about anything else. You're just 100% focused, and so it just takes you away from like anything that you've got on your mind. You're just committed to the thing that you're trying to drive up. And obviously, you know, sometimes you're in precarious situations. Maybe you're, you know, leaning over or nearly flipping backwards, and so there's a lot of adrenaline involved.
I think the goal for us to come out, when we come out four-wheeling in Sand Hollow, the local guys at least, we like to try and find something new, push our boundaries a little bit, see what the cars are actually capable of. Each car's a little bit different. Each car does a little bit better on a different obstacle than another car does. Wheelbase, height of the car, just every obstacle is different.
So what makes these cars a little bit more unique in the rock crawling world is the portal axles that we run on them. It's got gear-driven boxes at each wheel that actually come off a Hummer, and we run fabricated Toyota axle housings in between the Hummer boxes on the outside. Then it's got a GM V6 engine with a 4-speed automatic transmission that we run a manual valve body in, so the transmission stays in whatever gear you put it in. And then it's finally finished off with a Dana 300 transfer case, and it's actually out of like an old 80s Jeep, but they work really well, and they're very small and compact, so it fits this build nicely. So one of the main features this car has that makes it so capable is rear steering and front steering. So we have 4-wheel steering, 45 degrees at each end. You can really get the car positioned where you need it to, and then if you're falling into a crack or off your line, you're able to correct it with the back end of the car, being able to steer it backwards and forwards. There's a lot going on, a lot of levers inside, but it makes it more challenging and more fun. Another great thing about rock crawling is the family aspect, and just having my wife and my son out here, and they get to see what we're doing, they get to hang out with everyone, and you know, Chelsea's always running around taking photos and capturing those special moments. My little man, you know, he's driving his RC crawler around, kind of doing the same things just like Dad, but in a mini version.
Friends have always incorporated our hobbies, and honestly, rock crawling and the community around it, the connections, the friends, like it's on another level.
The camaraderie in the sport is like most of off-road. If you have a problem out here, there's someone that's going to help you. They're not going to leave you behind. It's the greatest people you'll meet. And that extends to when we're trying to conquer obstacles. We have a great group of guys out here today, and we've challenged our cars. Our cars are all a little different, so some may do it a little better than others. But as we find new obstacles, we're gonna help each other figure out how to get up it, because we're conquering it as a group. It's not cutthroat, individual, I'm better than you. It's, which makes this sport so much more fun, because we're all in it together.
The biggest challenge about rock crawling is not braking. You push these cars really hard, and if you want to keep going out the next day and the day after that, you've either got to, have a pretty healthy wallet to replace all the broken parts, or you kind of just finesse the car through and try and keep it together.
When we go out on the trail, the intensity is really out of this world. It is an addicting adrenaline rush. I don't think you ever really get used to. You get the adrenaline rush every time you go out, especially when you're trying harder and harder obstacles each week out here. We'll go out on the trail. There's definitely the main trails that everybody sticks to out here, but we try and find something new and challenging every time we go out.
Trail riding to us, it's different for every group, but trail riding for us and these capable rigs means trying to find a new obstacle or trying to find something that will actually challenge each driver. And each driver's level is a little bit different, but the group that we run together with, they're all pretty much top-notch drivers. Some of the top drivers in the world live right here, and I get to go wheeling with them every day, which is great. But when we get out here, we'll look at a line. So we're at Sand Hollow, where everything is pretty much free game. We don't want to run over vegetation, but any rock that you see, you can pick a line and drive up it. If it looks good to you, if it looks drivable, we'll try and drive it. So as we're going along on what would be a typical trail in Sand Hollow, we will look to the left, look to the right. Oh, look at that. There's a crack I've never seen before. Let's try it. And we do. And sometimes we conquer it and sometimes we don't.
My ultimate goal with rock crawling is just to continue to have fun and to continue to learn to be a better driver and just keep making memories with it.